Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Panchatattva Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada 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 Hare Bol Thank you all very much for assembling in the morning for the Bhagavatam class. This is fundamental to our Krishna consciousness, hearing the scriptures, hearing the words of the Gita, Srimad-Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, extremely purifying, edifying, uplifting, energizing, and empowering. This is the blessings of regularly reading the Srimad-Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So, we are very blessed that Srila Prabhupada came to give us this transcendental literature which tells us about the spiritual world, our real home. So, we are continuing our reading of Srimad-Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 12, Mohini Murti bewilders Lord Shiva. And we are on text number 46, which doesn't have a purport, so we'll keep reading till we get to the purport. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashta Praeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So text number 45. Oh, okay. No problem. Yesterday we did 45. So today, I'm sorry, we are on 46. No. We did 44 yesterday. So today we are on 45. That's right. 8, 12, 41. Okay, you'll have to go down. You'll have to scroll down and come all the way down to the purport. And then there's a button which says next. So you'll have to... We have finished... Yes. We will, We will read, I will read the Sanskrit and the English translation. Yes. We are on the verse. Shall I begin? You'll have to go... you can click next on that small button over there. If you go there, yes, you'll come to 42. And like that, scroll down again, all the way down. Then click next. On the next button, when you click, it'll take you to the next verse. Yeah. What's going on? So, okay, we'll read. Shri Shukha Vacha iti te bihitastata vikrama sharanga dhanvanaha sindhor nirmathane yena dhrita prishte mahachala. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shukadev Goswami said, "My dear king, the person who bore the great mountain on his back for the churning of the ocean of milk is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead known as Sharanga Dhanva. I have now described to you his prowess." Text number 46. Etan muhu kirtayato nushrinvato narishyate jatu samudyama kvachit yad uttama shloka guna anuvarnanam samasta samsara parishramapaham. Translation: the endeavor of one who constantly hears or describes this narration of the churning of the ocean of milk will never be fruitless. Indeed, chanting the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only means to annihilate all sufferings in this material world. Interesting, isn't that so? Text number 47, and this has a purport. So you're welcome to repeat after me. Oh, we are turning it off. Okay. Asad avishayam angrim bhavagamyam prapannan amritam amaravaryan ashayat sindhumatyam kapata yuvati vesho mohayan yasurarim tamaham upashritanam kamapuram natosmi. Translation: assuming the form of a young woman and thus bewildering the demons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead distributed to his devotees, the demigods, the nectar produced from the churning of the ocean of milk. Unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who always fulfills the desires of his devotees, I offer my respectful obeisances. Well, you can repeat the English translation. Assuming the form of a young woman and thus bewildering the demons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead distributed to his devotees, the demigods, the nectar produced from the churning of the ocean of milk. The nectar produced from the churning of the ocean of milk. Unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who always fulfills the desires of his devotees, I offer my respectful obeisances. Purport: the instruction of this narration concerning the churning of the milk ocean is clearly manifested by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he is equal to everyone, because of natural affection, he favors his devotees. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9:29, Samoham sarva bhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. This partiality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is natural. A person cares for his children not because of partiality, but in a reciprocation of love. The children depend on the father's affection, and the father affectionately maintains the children. Similarly, because devotees do not know anything but the lotus feet of the Lord is always prepared to give protection to his devotees and fulfill their desires. He therefore says, Kaunteya pratijhanihi na me bhakta pranashyati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Thus end Bhaktivedanta purports of 8th canto, 12th chapter of Srimad-Bhagavatam, entitled Mohini Murti Incarnation Bewilders Lord Shiva. Whoa! So how you like that? So, this whole pastime of the churning of the milk ocean is very instructive for us to understand so many things. And here it's said that the Lord is partial. He favors his devotees. Though he says in the Bhagavad Gita, I don't envy anyone, nor am I partial to anyone. But whoever renders service unto me is a friend, is in me, and I'm also in him. So you see how much Krishna favors his devotee. He's constantly thinking of his devotee. He's constantly thinking, how can I bring him back to me? And the devotee is constantly thinking of Krishna and saying, how can I go back to Krishna? So Krishna also says this, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are devoted to my service, and they take great satisfaction and bliss in constantly hearing about me and conversing about me. This is in chapter 10, verse number 9 of Bhagavad Gita, which goes like this. Machita matagata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They take great delight. They derive great satisfaction and bliss from always conversing about me, says Krishna, and enlightening one another about me. So who is the topic? What is the topic? Krishna. What is the discussion? Krishna's pastimes. What are the lessons? Krishna's instructions. And what is the fruit? Purification and more attraction to Krishna. So that is why we are reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. Why we are reading this transcendental literature? Because it is Amala Puran. It's pure, completely free of any taints of this material world. What are the problems of this material world? What are the defects of this material world? We have imperfect senses. We are prone to making mistakes. We are in illusion. We have the tendency to get illusion. And we have the cheating propensity. So anything that is coming from here has these 4 defects. But whatever is coming from the spiritual world is pure and is free of all defects because it is coming from Krishna, the supremely pure. So here in this pastime, the demigods wanted that nectar for immortality, and they were being harassed by the demons. And so, very humbly, they approached the Supreme Lord, who arranges for this to happen. How does he do that? He comes in the form of a bewitching woman, completely bewilders the demons, and even tells them what he is going to do and that they must not protest. And the demons are in so much illusion, they agree to whatever she says. And that is how the Lord takes the pot of nectar and gives it to the demigods. So you might say, what is this? This is partiality. The Lord is favoring the demigods over the demons. And yes, it is true. Why? Because the demigods are servitors of the Lord. They follow the laws of God. And they're trying to please the Lord, even though they may have desires for opulence, they may have desires for power, but still they're trying to be good devotees. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Surya, Brahma, Shiva, all of them are actually great devotees of the Lord. And the demons, they're completely against the Lord. They do not like the thought of God, what to speak of following Him or serving Him or obeying His instructions. Their program is, I am God. I am the controller. I am the enjoyer. I am the proprietor. And everyone should bow down to me. But when a jiva, a small living entity, tries to imitate the Supreme Master, he makes a fool of himself, embarrasses himself, because he's just a little jiva tattva. And so Krishna shows his supremacy, his incredible power, his supreme power over all that be, by establishing again and again that he is the Lord. And he has come to re-establish the principles of religion. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, verses 7 and 8, what does Krishna say? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there's a rise in irreligion, and whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practices, I descend myself to re-establish these principles of religion, yuge yuge, again and again. So Krishna comes with a particular program to purify Mother Earth, to purify and liberate the living entities, and to give protection and pleasure to his devotees who are harassed by the demons. And what does he do? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I protect the pious, to annihilate the miscreants. I advent myself millennium after millennium. So Krishna doesn't just, throw us in this material world and say, good luck, tada, bye-bye, tough luck, do whatever you want, let anything happen. No, he's still the supreme controller. Even though he has nothing to do with the material energy, he still cares about us. He cares about every living soul, because every living soul is a child of Krishna, even the demons. But because they are inimical to the Lord and they break the laws of God, they don't receive his favor in the merciful way. They receive his favor in the form of punishment, more and more suffering, or outright getting killed. Actually, the demons who get killed at the hands of Krishna are very, very fortunate, because they gain liberation. Actually, Mother Putana, she got the position almost equal to Mother Yashoda in the spiritual world, because just for a fraction of a second, she had loving maternal feelings when she gazed upon that beautiful baby Krishna. So how merciful is the Lord? In fact, there's a verse in the Bhagavatam which says, how can I take shelter of anyone more merciful than he who gave the position of mother to the witch Putana, who came to kill him by taking her to the spiritual world? And when Pundarik Vidyanidhi heard this verse, he went into ecstasy. For 6 hours, he was uncontrollable. He was tearing his hair, tearing off his clothes, and throwing furniture around. He was just in complete ecstasy. So many of his servants tried to restrain him, but they couldn't. This is the love that was evoked in the heart of Pundarik Vidyanidhi simply by thinking of the mercy of the Lord towards his devotees. Krishna is so kind. He's so loving towards his devotees. Just like a father lovingly takes care of his children, Krishna is guiding our steps back towards him. So we may think, I'm suffering so much, I have so many difficulties, I have so many problems. But Krishna is arranging those things for one reason, and one reason only: to make us more dependent on him. To make us more cognizant that he is all-powerful. I'm just helpless, Krishna. You protect me. You give me good intelligence. You give me ability to deal with the situation. And you help me become a better devotee. So in every difficult situation, we might think we are suffering, but actually it is Krishna's way of bringing us closer and closer to him. So in this purport, and also in this verse, you might say, What is this? Krishna fulfills the desires of his devotees. He's not fulfilling my desires. I want everything to be my way. And that's not happening. But this material world and everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure, not my pleasure. Or Krishna's enjoyment, not my enjoyment. So I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that. But who am I? Just a tiny little jiva soul. So small as to be insignificant. Hum tuchha hain, Srila Prabhupada would say in Hindi. I am insignificant. And Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is the owner, enjoyer, proprietor, controller of everything. Nothing is mine, and I am not the controller. Krishna is in control. What is my job in this situation? Surrender and take shelter. So, what does this purport mean? That the Lord fulfills the desires of his devotees. What it means is he fulfills our spiritual desires to become more and more purified, to become closer and closer to him, and to perfect our devotional service. The polishing is going on. You know, when a gem needs polishing, what does happen? What do? They take another gem and then both the gems shine. So, when we are in difficult relationships, difficult situations, difficult, challenges and so on, we can think to ourselves, okay, Krishna is polishing me. I'm going to get rid of some anarthas here. I'm going to become more surrendered because I'll give up being the controller. I'm not the controller anyway, but I'm an illusion that I am. So Krishna is purifying me. Actually, Krishna is arranging everything for our purification. Krishna loves us so much that he doesn't want us to waste time here. Srila Prabhupada said, why should we rot here in this material world when we can be with Krishna? But we have to get qualified to come back to Krishna. It's not so easy. So the polishing process is going on. His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj gives a very interesting analogy. He says, the lump of clay, how does it become a pot? The potter beats that lump of clay and smashes it and pulverizes it and squeezes it and this thing and that thing and all that is going on and fires it, and then he makes that, pot out of that lump of clay, and then it becomes something of beauty, something of use. But to begin with, it's just a black lump of clay. But what process it has to undergo before it becomes a pot? It gets a lot of beatings, right? Huh? It gets smashed, it gets pulverized, it gets twisted and squeezed and this and that. But ultimately it becomes a thing of beauty, a thing of usefulness to serve a certain purpose. So we are all in this process of purification. We are all getting polished. We are all getting pounded and kneaded and squeezed and beaten up, and all those things are happening. Why? Because Krishna wants us to become useful, to become an instrument for his will by cleaning out all the anarthas which are blocking his mercy from coming through. It's like a pipeline. Supposing a pipe is clogged with so many things, can the water flow nicely? No. So, Krishna is cleaning our pipelines. False ego, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, envy, so that his mercy can flow nicely and be distributed to everyone. So we want to get clear of all this stuff. We don't want all these things clogging us, so that we become simply instruments in Krishna's hands to do as he pleases, not as I please. So this is what is meant here in this purport, where Krishna fulfills the spiritual desires of his devotees. In this Krishna book, there's a very nice pastime. Shall I tell you? You want to hear? Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadev Goswami, how is it? Lord Shiva, he lives under a tree, under a bale tree. He wanders around with just, little tiger skin. He has no opulences. He doesn't even have a house. But his devotees, oh, so opulent, so wealthy, so rich, so powerful, so fortunate. And Lord Vishnu, he lives in Vaikuntha, opulence, grandeur, beauty, riches, wealth. The goddess of fortune is right next to him. And look at his devotees, poverty-stricken. How is this? Jai, Panchatattva Bhagwan ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai. How is this? Complete opposite. So then, Shukadev Goswami is very pleased and he answers the question. He says, Lord Vishnu does not easily just give whatever the devotee wants. While Lord Shiva, Brahma, all the others, they're very easily pleased, they're very easily angered also, and they just, without consideration, they give the gifts, they give the benedictions. So once, what happened, Lord Shiva was being approached by this demon, I forget the name, Vrikasura, yeah. And he was trying to please the Lord. He was doing so many things and he was almost giving up his body because he was cutting parts of his flesh and offering it in the sacrificial fire. He was almost going to die, and Shiva didn't want that to happen because Shiva is very compassionate. And so he appeared before him and he said, what do you want? Demon said, I want the benediction that if I put my hand on anyone's head, it will burst into pieces and he will die. So Shiva said, Tathastu, all right, take the benediction. Next thing what happens? Vrikasur says, now let me try it on you. So Shiva takes to his heels. I have to run, I have to escape. And Shiva is running. This demon is running because he wants to test it on Lord Shiva. And Lord Vishnu is watching the fun. He's saying, what is this going on? Immediately he understands. My devotee Shiva is in trouble because he has again given a benediction without thinking. So what does Lord Vishnu do? He immediately takes the form of a very charming Brahmin. And he comes to Vrikasur and he says, what is this? Why are you running? What is going on? Can you just explain? In a very sweet, soothing, serene voice, just calming this demon down and, trying to talk to him. And so the demon says, well, I got this benediction from Shiva and now I want to test it. So he's like, oh, that Shiva, he's not been keeping well these days. He just says something, but really it doesn't have much meaning or much power. He's just, he's not himself these days. He's not okay. He's not all right. And he says it so convincingly, in such a sweet, in such a nice manner, that Vrikasur starts doubting. He says, oh, really? Is that so? Oh, yeah. Shiva is just, giving benedictions right, left, center, but he's not himself. He's not really, thinking it through, and it really doesn't have much power. You test it on yourself and you'll see for yourself. There's no power to it. Oh, really? Yeah, test it. Psh, finish! Boom! That's the end of Vrikasur. And then Lord Shiva is like, thank you. Oh my Lord, thank you for saving me. And then Vishnu says, you have to think before you give benedictions. You're just giving benedictions and see, you're in trouble now. So, but Lord Vishnu doesn't do like that. He thinks very carefully. Even when a devotee is asking for something, he thinks, is this really beneficial for my devotee? Then I will give it. But if it's not beneficial, he will not give it. Because he wants the ultimate good for his devotee, which is what? To come back to him. So if something is going to block you, prevent you, delay your coming back to Krishna, Krishna will not give that to you. But if something is going to enhance your devotional service, bring you closer to Him, purify you, that's what is going to happen. You see the difference? So Krishna is a very loving Father. He doesn't give us candy because He knows it will spoil our teeth. I'm just giving an analogy. Just as a parent doesn't keep giving candy to the kids, even though the kid says, chocolate, 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 ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, candy, candy, candy. Does a good parent just give it just like that? Says, no, you've had too many sweets. You're going to get caries. We have to take you to the dentist now. No more. That's enough. So sometimes Krishna may give some material benedictions if He sees that it's good for us. But if it's not good, He will not give it to us. But He will always fulfill our spiritual desires. I want to become more fixed, Krishna. Please help. And Krishna will arrange so that you get more fixed. Krishna, I really want to chant my rounds nicely. I'm so inattentive. It's so distracting for me. Please help me. And Krishna will help. So Krishna wants the best for us. And Krishna doesn't want to see us suffer endlessly in this cycle of birth and death, taking birth and dying, taking birth and dying, taking birth and dying. How many millions of lifetimes we have done this? So Krishna doesn't want to see us suffer more and more. So He may give us sufferings in order to decrease our attachments. And that is actually of benefit to the spirit soul, to free us from the shackles of being bound to this material world. So we might be going through a tough time, but we can rest assured that when we come out of it, we'll be stronger, better, purer than we were before that test came. Tatte nukampam susamikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam ridvag babubir vidadan namaste jive tayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. What is Lord Brahma's prayer? In Srimad-Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 8. Very famous verse which Srila Prabhupada would say every devotee must learn after the Mahamantra. My dear Lord, one who earnestly awaits your causeless mercy, patiently suffering the reactions to all his past misdeeds, all the while offering you humble obeisances with his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation because it has become his rightful claim. So Krishna will put us through different things. This is the kneading process of the potter, or the polishing process, so that we can get rid of our anarthas and become more and more fixed in bhakti and finally come back to Him. So we should feel completely confident of Krishna, our Father, who is taking care of us as a father takes care of his children, very affectionately, very lovingly, but very firmly. Children need both love and discipline. So we are getting disciplined, we are getting trained up to be good devotees so that we can qualify and enter the spiritual world. Without being qualified, no one can enter the spiritual world. So therefore, Krishna wants us back and He wants us to be victorious. So therefore He says, Kaunteya pratijanihi na me bhakta pranashyati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. What does this mean? Does this mean we'll never die? Of course not. Our material body will die. But our spiritual life will keep growing and growing and growing. That is the guarantee of being in the process of bhakti-yoga. That there is no loss, there is no diminution. You will just keep on accruing this because it goes into your eternal bank account and it is never lost. So Krishna carries to us what we lack and He preserves what we have. So He will always protect our spiritual life. Our consciousness, whatever level we have reached, will never be lost. Even if death comes upon us, Krishna will see to it that our next situation is such that we can pick up where we left off in the previous lifetime. But Srila Prabhupada said, don't waste time. Don't make me come back again and again. Finish up in this lifetime and come back to me. So, we have a very wonderful process where Krishna is saying, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajam yaham. Manushya partha sarvasha. No. What does that say? Third line? I forget. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajam yaham. Mama vartmanu vartanti. Thank you. Yes. Mama vartmanu. Manushya partha sarvashaha. Mama vartmanu vartati. Thank you. Yes, everyone follows my path in all respects. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So the more we surrender, more the protection, more the instructions, more the guidance, more the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So let's surrender and go back home to Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So let us give up fear, let us give up anxiety, worry, tension, panic, this, that, and simply surrender to Krishna and take shelter by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One who chants the holy name of Krishna, Maya cannot touch him or her. So constantly chanting the holy names of Krishna is our only protection from the attacks of Maya. So let us take shelter, chant the holy names, perfect our lives, and go back home, back to Krishna where we belong. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we will now open up for questions, comments, sharing realizations. Yes.
Thank you for your very inspiring lecture. Thank you. Not question really, but I hearing and miss something. If should I ask more?
Okay.
The topic is Krishna, and then what's more?
The focus is Krishna. The topic is Krishna. The discussion is about Krishna. The pastimes, Krishna's pastimes. So everything is about Krishna. Spiritual life is about Krishna. We are used to being, it's all about me. That's how we want to be in the material world. Me. I'm the center. It's all about me. But we want to change that. No, Krishna is the center. Krishna is the topic of discussion. Krishna is the recipient of all our service.
Okay.
That's yeah.
Thank you. And you said more we surrender, we have more shelter and more help, and more
guidance, more instructions.
And the more
protection,
and the more izzivov, no problemov. And more challenges, the same, yes?
No, our challenges actually melt away because we are taking shelter of Krishna.
Go away.
Krishna will make it in such a way that our strength increases, our ability to deal with that situation increases, or our tolerance increases.
These challenges give before we surrender.
It's all we are constantly challenged, and we constantly have to surrender. We surrender at one level, another challenge comes along. And then we surrender, and then another challenge, because there are so many layers. We are so covered over that the moment we finish with one layer, another layer is there to uncover. So surrender is a process. It's ongoing. It doesn't stop. Welcome. Nice questions. Any other questions? Comments? Anything from the internet audience? Nothing? Okay. So is that all right? All right. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Nice chapter after this also. Manu. Description of the Manus.